Welcome to Road Gang Radio. I'm really excited, by the way, on the runonless.com. That messy middle, by the way, it's an all of the above approach, and our friends at NACFE are making it happen. 13 examples, 13 anecdotes, 13 stories, 13 human stories of making the adjustment to what is next in the fuel sector, of helping the American economy roll across the country with all sorts of different approaches. And Ken North is joining us this morning. He is an emergency technology consultant with NACFE. He's looking at the Kleysen Group, and I'm going to let him kind of jump in by just simply saying, good morning. How you doing, man? I don't have a single complaint in the world. It's a pretty good opening. It feels good to kind of get the show started with you guys. Tell us a little bit about what you do as an emerging technology consultant, and then we'll pivot into the Kleysen Group.
Yeah, well, super happy to be here with you this morning and to share some time with your audience. I'm an emerging technology consultant with NACFE, the North American Council for Freight Efficiency, and we study and report on emerging technologies in transportation. And our research helps to speed the adoption towards efficient technologies. We help industry to drive towards zero-emission transportation. And we don't sell or represent anyone or anything. We're completely agnostic. We're simply working to help industry move forward in a positive way.
Yeah, and like I said, that puts you guys in a unique position, and like our friends over at Atri, that you can go places and not have anybody feel like you got an axe to grind or an agenda. You're not trying to prove or disprove. You're trying to kind of observe, see what is going on, collect the data, and then present your findings. And you looked at 13. We're almost through all of them, by the way. You've looked at 13 different approaches to fuel efficiency, and you got a chance to get yourself embedded with these folks out of Edmonton. Tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, 100%. So we're really just getting started with the Run Less Messy Middle. As you mentioned, there's 13 fleets that we've partnered with to study the various different technologies in transportation. And I was part of a team that's focusing in primarily on the natural gas technology that's available in today's transportation sector, and was able to visit with the Kleysen folks up in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And Kleysen is part of the Mullen Group, which is one of Canada's largest logistics companies. Kleysen, they go all the way back to 1935, where they started off as a small cartage company hauling feed for the horses for the Toronto Police Department, and have grown significantly across Canada, and eventually joined the Mullen Group around 2014. Kleysen is an interesting business. They're a dry bulk, liquid bulk hauler, and they work at the extreme edge of our transportation sector. The Kleysen Group in Edmonton are operating a Ken North 2025 T880 sleeper tractor with a Cummins X15 and natural gas engine. And in that application, they will be hauling 143,000 pounds on a dual trailer arrangement, and then running that vehicle and that trailer combination up into some extreme temperature areas, about 56 degrees north latitude is the extent of their haul. And they run into a region that will hit record temperatures. I think the record low was minus 63 Fahrenheit in the winter in that region. Excuse me, and the record high temperature in the summer is around 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So it really is, it's posing the question, can these emerging technologies and different fuel sources work in the most extreme aspects of our transportation sector? And that's what Kleysen is helping us to prove out.
I just think, like I said, it's what's really interesting is that we've looked at these approaches on fuel efficiency, and we've looked at them not just through the efficiency of them under ideal conditions, but we've said let's kind of go to these places and challenge the fuel. The methodology of fuel in a place where it's going to be under its most high stress sort of operational situation. It's like
Mhm.
you literally are testing the technology at the limits of what is supposed to be the strain point of the technology to see how it kind of holds up. I'm not saying that you're pushing it to the point of breakage, but what I'm saying is that you're answering questions that people in sectors who are thinking about investing in this kind of fuel efficiency are going to be asking, and seeing how far it actually can work in these areas. What did you find out when you were with them? I mean, using natural gas in those sort of extreme conditions can really tell you a lot. And what did you discover while being with Kleysen?
Well, we're learning lots, and we're learning by the minute, literally. All of these technologies that we study are improving as time is going forward, and each of these technologies, as we're learning, is also proving itself to be specifically or ideally suited in certain types of applications and used in certain ways. And so, in the space of the natural gas, we're learning that it's performing very well. We're learning that, some of the challenges, maybe, for example, just to give you one nugget, some of the challenges of perhaps starting a diesel engine at cold temperatures are mitigated when operating natural gas. It's easier to fuel a natural gas truck at super low ambient air temperatures, for example. And so we're going to learn a lot more as Run on Less continues and starts officially on September the 8th. And as we'll also learn, on technologies that are battery electric and the different forms of diesel and hydrogen fuel cell technology, which we're also studying as well.
You've gotten some really great kind of testimonials from the drivers as well. People with 20 years
Hmm.
experience who are looking for, any sort of things that might go wrong and could go wrong in regards to their own kind of personal anecdotal experience. So I was kind of curious, and a chance to talk to them. What were some of the
Yeah.
insights the drivers had?
Well, this is a super important part of our industry. I mean, the driver is key, and it's no secret that we've struggled as an industry to retain drivers, in this profession, and so when we find these technologies, perhaps such as natural gas, that the drivers really enjoy driving, and I think that's a key part of the entire strategy of whether this is the right energy source to go forward with. And so in the case of natural gas, the experience with the latest engine that's available from Cummins is that this engine is extremely quiet. The vibration noise level in the cab is extremely low. That it pulls just like diesel, and it's easy to start, easy to run, easy to pass with when you need to get out in the passing lane and pass. And so really the drivers are nodding up and down, saying we like where this is going. And one little comment that was given to me on our recent visit up to Edmonton was a small but maybe an important difference. When you're fueling a diesel truck at sub-zero temperature. In the wintertime, it could be anywhere in the U.S. In this case, it was in Canada. But when you're fueling a diesel truck, you need to stand by the fuel tank at attention at the fuel nozzle while you wait for the fuel to be dispensed into the tank. With natural gas, once you make that connection to the truck at the refueling center, the driver can get inside the cab and stay warm and wait until the fueling has finished. And in some cases, that might be 10, 15, 20 minutes, so it doesn't take a long time. So, a simple thing like that, but it makes a big difference in the world of a driver where they don't have to stand up potentially in sub-zero temperatures waiting for the vehicle to refuel.
Let me tell you something, by the way, and I got to wrap this up, and I actually want to get you back on at some point to keep talking about this particular experiment, because what is really cool about that is people don't realize so much of what happens to drivers is death by 1,000 cuts, and people don't realize that getting back in the cab on a regular basis and not having to freeze on the fuel island. Oh my God. And that your hands
Hmm.
don't wear out as fast, your body doesn't get sore as much, and literally it is doing little tiny incremental things to improve the very life of the men and women who are driving these trucks in ways that seem invisible in the moment, like an inconvenience in the moment. But if you begin to add up the number of times a driver has to stand and feel his hands or her hands get numb, even gloved, and you take that out of the equation, it becomes a very different lifestyle and quality of life kind of job. Ken, we got to go, but can you give? I'll give people the socials to say runonless.com /participants. You can find the information. They have a great video, by the way, for Run On Less in the messy middle, the fleet profile of the Kleysen Group. It really is terrific. Thank you so much. Promise me you'll come back and let us know what happens when they get that final run in.
I would love to. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Go to NACFE.org as well, NACFE.